check, mic check. Hey, it's Tony and Chelsea Live. Every Thursday at about 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
Why does our clock say it's 4:02?
Because it's a mechanical flip clock. You just saw it in the intro. Chelsea's asking about the flip clock that we have.
Now
Sometimes,
it changed to 5:02.
well, right, it's got a little mechanical arm that releases the hour and minutes that flip.
But it doesn't flip. It flips 2 minutes late.
Yeah, I mean, there's tension applied against the thing. It's not like a digital clock. It's
This
part of the beauty of
episode
it.
is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, online store, or portfolio for your photography. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. Try Squarespace at squarespace.com/Tony. No credit card needed for that 14-day free trial. And if you decide you like it, I think you will, you can use the coupon code PORTFOLIO for 10% off. Squarespace. Build it beautiful.
Thanks for sponsoring us, Squarespace. You know, we're always trying, like every live show, we do a couple of things different because we're just in a constant state of refinement. Today, we're trying the broadcast mics
I like
as an
them.
experiment. I hate the lab mics. You have to fish them through your shirt, but that's
I
what
hate fishing through your shirt.
newscasters use. It's kind of the standard. We'll try this. We'll see if it's in front of our faces. It's kind of ugly, but the sound is better. We'll see which people prefer.
Maybe.
We also warmed up the color a little bit because people complained about that. It's a live show, so you can talk to us live in a couple of different ways. On Twitter, use hashtag TCLive, and our producer, Justin, who is currently trying to turn his camera on.
I got
He's
it.
just trying to keep his shit together over there.
He'll throw it up on the screen so everybody can see it. Or you can write in the chat, and our producer, Siobhan, out in Philly, will either get irritated with you, or if you write a clever enough comment, she might actually ask us during the live show. So you can ask us real questions.
I prefer fake questions.
I always want to have an episode where we just do question and answer, but nobody really has many questions for us.
We do a whole Q&A video.
That's true. We get more success when we do that.
Yeah.
Today
I
we're
think
looking at your
people
pictures.
are so busy chatting during the show, they get distracted.
Yeah. It is just like a big chat
I
room
could just
when you
say
watch
whatever I
live.
want.
If you haven't watched
Nobody will
live, you
even
should.
notice.
It's
Yeah.
an experience.
Yeah. Shoes. What are they? Where do they come from?
Those are not things we're talking about today. Today, we're looking at pictures you've taken of shoes. This is an assignment we gave last week, and it's not a typical type of photography because we wanted to push you to try something new, to go out and take new pictures and to be creative about it. So I'm excited to see what pictures of shoes people came up with. It's kind of open-ended. I hope we see some exciting things.
I was trying to find out who had a weird fetish, but yeah, learning's good too.
Next week.
Tree.
Okay. Not trees. Does it need to be limited to one tree?
Hey.
Because they tend to hang out in groups.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that. It's
I mean,
like there's a murder of crows. There's some group of trees. I don't know what you call that.
forest.
No, that's not it.
What is this?
You can send your pictures in at sdp.io/submit. That's where you go to send pictures in live.
Well, you know what? Every week, hey, go back. Siobhan writes a live show recap about the show, and she's pretty funny. That's why we keep her around. Also, she is the manager of our blog at northrop.photo. If you have some photographic information to relay or editing information and you have written before, you can send a sample of your writing and your pictures to Siobhan at northrop.org. And she might let you write for our blog.
Just the first task is going to be properly spelling her email address.
Yeah.
You could also send
That's
it
a
to
good
Tony at
test.
northrop.org. It's a little more conventional.
No, let it weed out the people who can't take the time to learn how to spell my name.
Okay. Send it to Siobhan at northrop.org.
That's a good sign if they can look up something and edit.
That's a great concept. I like that idea. Google has their own interview questions. This is ours. Figure out the spelling of
We
Siobhan's
will
name.
be judging your email harshly.
People always ask about the
Photoshop
Photoshop book. It is coming along. We're actively working on it. There's already 80 pages ready and more than 8 hours of video. Already a super bargain for $9.99.
Super bargain.
But of course, you'll get the entire book as we complete it. It will certainly be over 250 pages. It's going to be long. Go to sdp.io/store. That's the only place to get it, and you'll be able to buy it cheap. A couple of pieces of photo news.
Oh, I love photo news. Tell me.
Lightroom, Adobe released an update to Lightroom CC and also Adobe Camera Raw, which is a free app, which has a
Okay.
lot of capabilities, but you wouldn't really use it on its own. If you have Lightroom CC or Lightroom 6, you can install the update and you'll be able to do this cool thing with panoramas where I think I left it open here. I did not. Anyway, I released a free video earlier today, but it just helps you not have to crop a panorama. Because usually when you take a panorama, all the edges are really rough. And to
Yeah.
get around that, you end up just cropping tight and it just smushes the pictures out to the edges. So you don't have to do that heavy crop. It helps because I always tell people to take way more pictures than they need to for a panorama. But I myself, I never remember to take, I never have quite enough pictures. I always wish I had more.
Yeah.
And so that kind of solves that problem and it does it really elegantly and smoothly. It's actually a good update.
Cool.
Last week, we missed this piece of news last week. Fuji announced the X Pro 2, which is their new top-end camera. So it's actually a pretty big deal. And the X Pro cameras are unique in a couple of ways. They're inherently retro. And in fact, they have this kind of novel viewfinder that switches between an optical viewfinder and an electric viewfinder.
Yeah.
And they released an updated version of it, which has all the usual features like better image quality and, better stuff.
I'm just distracted by the video that's playing.
Yeah,
I thought
this
that was
is one of their promotional videos, and it can tell a little bit about the target audience for this, I think. Clearly they're trying to sell the camera to bikini-clad women.
Yeah.
That's who they hope to reach with this camera.
She was in the forest earlier.
Yeah, just the usual places you put on a bikini. You're like, I'm going for a hike. What hiking wear should I wear?
That's when
two-piece.
you wear your bikini.
High heels. The
Olympus.
Olympus Pen was announced just this week. This is a Micro Four Thirds camera. So it would take like all the lenses that we use in here. We use a lot of Micro Four Thirds cameras. And as with the other cameras, it's bigger and better than ever. It has a 20 megapixel sensor, which is kind of a new high water mark for these Micro Four Thirds cameras. That's, another good like 20, 30% more pixels. Usually they're 16 megapixel sensors. So it's a camera I'm pretty jazzed about. It's also a beautiful camera.
This video is going for the more artsy photographer. Black and white. This guy's clearly a badass. Look, he's all about the photography.
Yeah, and it is interesting to see how manufacturers market their different cameras because the two cameras, they're both retro. They're both highly stylized. The Fuji has a bigger sensor, so with a given lens, it might do a better job. But the Micro Four Thirds camera has a wider variety of lenses available, and generally I'm more a fan of the Olympus cameras. This looks like just a beautiful camera, and it's a spot-on impression of the original Olympus Pen film cameras, which, well, they looked almost exactly like this.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is beautiful, and it should be a very, very capable camera. It should be the most capable Micro Four Thirds camera ever at $1,200. I like Micro Four Thirds. They have just a massive number of lenses available.
Yeah.
Massive number. That's something
I would
Fuji
like to
doesn't
try
have.
this camera.
Yeah, I reached out to Olympus. Hopefully they'll loan us a copy
I really
for
like
review.
their other Olympus cameras that we've used. They're so much fun.
That's the thing about Olympus. It's just a fun camera to use.
Yeah.
Fuji can be, there's a steep learning curve with it. But the Olympus cameras, they're just intuitive, nice to use. Let's see if people have any shoe pictures. Wow, we have some shoe pictures.
Stirred.
So we're taking a look at your pictures now. You can submit them during the live show to northrop.photo/submit. And this week's challenge is very creative.
Someone's
very
being
different.
funny.
I feel okay with that.
I think that's beautiful. I'm going to give it a pick.
Wow, right off the bat.
It is a shoe.
It's a shoe. This person's not speciest. Would that be the word? They're not good. Goody blue shoes. Now, how do you feel about the pun?
What is the pun?
Goody two shoes?
Oh, sorry. Forgotten that. What is that exactly?
I don't know. It's interesting.
Actually, my wife has one of those
What?
from her store, and it's just something that she had like red liquid in it, and it just kind of looked cool. I don't know if it serves a purpose really.
Life is weird.
Yeah, I would just I want to drink something, but that's it. I'm sorry. Good shot. We got very distracted. I think it's a perfect kind of product shot.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story here.
I do think there's a story here, and I think people clearly hiked to this sort of remote beach through the woods on a trail because they're all hiking. You know, you would wear flip-flops, or if you're a Fuji model, you would wear high heels. But these people wore hiking boots with socks, so they came over rough terrain to get here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that shot. It kind of tells a story. We see a few feet in the shot. I would like to see a little bit of the water, I think.
I think maybe they're.
Oh. You're right. Maybe they were just hiking in the desert, but it says beach shoes.
Oh, you're so smart.
But I didn't see that initially. That was not part of the story to me. Oh, that's beautiful. He's got crampons. So he clearly has been traversing ice and snow.
I don't know why crampons always make me laugh.
Always? Really? That's just a recurring joke in your life?
Yeah, just hilarious footwear jokes.
So there, the shoes really add to the storytelling.
Yeah.
It tells me that he was walking up some rough terrain.
Yeah, because without the feet, then you just are thinking about the landscape, but now we're thinking about the person in relation to the landscape.
Yeah, I used to be really big into hiking, and when I moved to New England, I would want to hike in the winter because there's not much to do in the winter. And hiking through the snow and ice sucks a lot. So you soon realize you need some special footwear. All right, so Aldo is a shoe brand.
Yeah, but I think that's. I don't think that's the shoe brand.
No?
I think that's the photographer.
Okay.
I would get rid of the vignetting foot here. What do you think?
Well, so the shoes have a really interesting design element of that front end being clipped off.
Yeah.
And I wish we could see that on the right shoe because he's nested it in there. And so my brain filled in a more conventional toe.
Yeah.
So I would just move it back a little bit so we could see it from a couple of different angles.
But you know what I
and
like?
Maybe add a little light to it.
I like the light here.
Yeah.
And I like the silhouette and I like this backlighting. It's a little inconsistent, the background, but overall, I think it's a nice picture.
That is a shoe.
There's
It's a
something
nice, clean
strange about there
background.
being one shoe in the picture.
You're right that feels a little uncomfortable. This feels like product photography.
Yeah.
And I think for that it succeeds. But you're right. There is immediately it feels weird to see one shoe.
But I think it's nice in a very like practical way. Like if I were on Amazon.
Have you ever known somebody who had different size feet?
No.
It's a real problem because you can't buy like one size 6 and one size 7. So you have to buy like 2 pairs of shoes for everything. Or you go into Payless and you try to
Steal.
to swap one pair out from another. That's what they would always try to do. But the people at Payless are onto you. They will
What?
check the sizes.
Why are you talking about this like
It just occurred to me.
Who has 2 different size feet that you know?
I do not want to reveal their identity because
male
I
or
just
female?
accused them of a female. From a long time ago. I'm sure the statute of limitations has passed. This is from like the 90s.
Let's just say it.
Maybe the 80s.
On the count of 3, we'll just say it. 1, 2, 3. Stephanie.
Oh. I can probably say the name. It was Christina Perez. Because there's about 12 million Christina Perez's out there. So I don't think that's going to be enough to track her down. As far as I know, she never succeeded at it. It was more of an attempted crime against
I love the
Payless.
idea of like how beaten down must you feel when you go in to buy shoes for your mismatched feet and nobody will let you. There's just
And they
a
catch
wanted
you.
sign.
They caught her at the checkout and they're like, these shoes don't match up. And she had to be like,
Oh,
I'm so
man.
glad you caught that.
What
or
kind
else-
of freak would do this?
Yeah.
What kind of whoa?
And then she had to be like, are you, they're like, are you a size 6 or 7? And she's like, Yeah, 7. But now, I kind of feel like I've changed my mind about these shoes.
Yeah.
'Cause she didn't want 2 7s.
Whoa. This is a bad omen where I'm from. This old 2-shoe thing. Tony, that's crazy. All right, what happened to this shoe? Pile of shoes in the forest. I honestly don't know the story here. It's an abandoned shoe, but I've never been done with shoes and just been like, go ahead, get back to the forest where you belong.
I am fascinated by this story too. Even the shoe, the back end of it looks like a high heel dress shoe, and the front end looks like a clown shoe of some kind.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Like some kind of slutty clown.
Slutty the Clown was my favorite growing up. Bozo sucked.
You're killing me.
I like this a lot. Hikers get attached to a particular type of shoe, not even a brand, but a particular model, and they will even get mad if, REI.
That's not the same shoe.
Oh, it's not. Okay, well, I had a whole story in my head, but you're right, it's not the same shoe. This person changed.
I'm glad I cut you off before you got too crazy.
But regardless, this person actually wore out their shoes.
They did.
Unlike everybody who put up on their dating profile on Yahoo Personals that they liked hiking and didn't actually go hiking. This person actually went hiking.
You're just bringing a lot of personal experience to the show. Unlike me, who has like pristine hiking boots in my closet.
Yeah, most people do have pristine hiking boots. That's why I'm appreciating this shot. I feel weird being an English speaker, accustomed to a left to right language. I feel like the old one should be on the left, don't you?
Wow.
Yeah, but
You blew my mind.
Oh.
This is great.
Wow. This is just, we've been working on a Glamour Shots podcast for a while, and it just felt very Glamour Shots-ish to me.
I just want to see what's happening. All right. I would like a little more light on the face. But overall, I think it's great. We should try this. And then...
Yeah, though at the same time, it seems like a fashion shot where the highlight is clearly on the shoes. So maybe they didn't want to distract you from the shoes.
But at the very least, you need to see the face, because there's something weird about seeing shoes and then going up to the face and there's just like, you're searching.
Yeah, I will say what made it unusual for me is the combination of also having the makeup on her face.
You need a new battery?
Is that what's happening to me?
Probably.
Is it that your battery's out? Sorry, Chelsea's having mouse problems. I'll mouse for a little bit. Justin's working on that.
So jealous.
Here's what seems like a really good product shot. I feel a little weird about the sort of shadow in the foreground and at the top and the bottom.
Those shoes look comfy, like a sock shoe.
But yeah, I think overall it's really good. You included 2 shoes in there.
Oh, I love this one.
An old dog and some old boots.
Yeah. I feel like he waits by the boots for his walk.
I feel like he's one of those dogs that as soon as he sees you pointing a camera at him, he just flips out and ruins the shot. Sandy is like that. And that's why he's like peering around the corner. But at the same time, I feel like a crop.
I kind of liked it uncropped just because it felt like you were watching a more candid moment.
Okay.
But, we can agree to disagree. Oh my gosh. What is happening tonight?
Yeah, how did that end up on a post like that?
I have no idea.
The first thought I had was target practice.
You could
Because
probably just bring
being
it
from
to a
Texas,
cobbler.
that's why the only reason you put something on a post is you're about to shoot it.
I
You feel
thought
like they
that-
can bring that to the cobbler.
Yeah, just bring it to the cobbler. He'll do stuff.
Interesting shot. We definitely pondered the meaning of it. Oh, another similar shot. This person not as well equipped for hiking.
Yeah, well, also they hiked so far and their shoes are still pristine. Did they bring a backup pair just to take this picture? What is with that?
Yeah, I feel like they should just be going to a London punk club, and here they are.
Punk club.
It's that the wrong term?
I don't know. It just sounds funny. Come on, let's go to the old punk club.
Anyway, I like the
This
shot.
is the
I'm sorry I
picture.
focused on the shoes not matching the activity
It's a
at
great
hand.
picture, but this is the picture you send your mom to get back at her for who knows what. She's like, get down from there. Eco-friendly shoes.
They're very crinkly. I'm focusing on the eco-friendly part.
I think they're recycled paper.
Oh,
Well, that's interesting.
yeah.
I like the colors.
There's other stuff in the frame, like the necklace that's kind of out of the side on the right there. But overall, it's a good shot. There's nothing technically wrong with it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that's really
Whoa.
cute.
I
This,
don't know the story here.
It's
Does
a
anybody?
toe-eating mallard
If you
right
had
before
to
the awful crime.
piece together some kind of story, look at all the beautiful flowers.
But yeah, it definitely is. It's an odd balance between the shoe and the duck, but I like it. It's a cute story.
What is the story?
They have bread. They're like having a picnic or something.
They
and ducks
have
like
bread.
stuff
They
like
just-
that.
Maybe a duck fell in love with the dismembered foot. You don't
Why would
know.
you think it was dismembered? We gotta stop watching Fargo.
These look like soccer cleats to me. Only shoe shot I have.
Okay.
Well, I like it. I just think of sports because you got these mud in the laces, which reminds me of like football or soccer. I see the little Nike swoosh and that athletic fabric that's always on the cleats. I think it's cleats. I like the close up and the light. I like that it's black and white. It's cropped to hell, and we love that. We like it.
Nicely done.
Oh, what are those?
All
We're
you.
fighting.
Uh,
Bound feet shoes.
Angelus Island, Angel Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
sad.
some poor gal had her feet all like
Bound.
mashed up by these things.
Yeah.
It's
a nice
okay.
picture.
Yeah, a little underexposed. We can brighten it up a little, but
It's like so strange that they're so colorful and cheery, and such a dark tradition is behind them. Okay. I remember BK British Knights.
wow. That's a legit abandoned shoe. It's got spider webs on it.
It does? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That,
cool shot. Totally isolated.
yeah.
That's probably what happens to the odd pair when you have mismatched feet. You just take that size
Yeah.
6 and you fling it.
Are these for cycling?
Oh, yeah, I think you must be right.
Oh, yeah. Cycling shoes. I like the shine. I like that you have both shoes in there. You're showing the bottom and the side and all of the interesting parts.
I used to have some of those cycling shoes, but they wouldn't reliably detach from the pedals. And so I'd be
That is
cycling along
hilarious.
and I would come to a stop and I go to put my foot down and my foot would not detach from the pedal. So the whole bike would just slowly like tilt over like this until I just crashed on the ground with my feet stuck to the pedals.
This happened to you multiple times?
Oh, yeah. It happened enough times. I just need to get used to it. Eventually I'll stop falling over in traffic, which is a bad thing. And no, they would work 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time I would just fall over.
That's hilarious.
Which wasn't at all funny.
Sounds funny.
No, wasn't funny.
I love this. You have the one still shoe.
That's awesome. I'm giving that one a pick.
Yeah,
that
I
one
agree
really
with that
strikes
pick.
me.
I like it a lot. No criticism. This one's also great. I'm going to give it a pick. We got an environment, good lighting, the shoes. I love it. This guy belongs in a punk rock club.
It's probably more appropriate for a punk club, yeah. Well-worn shoes. Cool
Very
shot.
cool. Wow, everybody's just going cool places with their shoes.
That is a beautiful location.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
Pick. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this didn't immediately register as shoes to me, but those look like fancy dress shoes from
Yeah.
that drunk chick at a bachelorette party. The one who, she's not the bachelorette, but she gets way too drunk.
I love the people in the background, the figures, and the very shallow depth of field. It's just awesome. I love this picture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a pick.
I give that one a pick too. 2 picks.
Just hanging out with your leaf.
I like that shot. It
Interesting.
just has a really nice balance to it.
Yeah,
Good
it
shot.
does. This is cool. It reminds me of a shoe ad.
Yeah, it does feel very fashiony. You know right away that the shoes are the focus, but at the same time, it's a fashion shot. They convey that there's so much more going on. I do agree with the crop. The crop conveys all the same.
It puts
feeling.
the shoes more in.
Yeah, and the
more
shoes
prominent.
are more prominent. Wow, those are some shoes.
Those
Look
are
at those
some
things.
shoes.
That must take some time to get into.
This is so Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I think that I would maybe light the shoes a little more.
right. A little dodging there could actually help out.
Yeah, but that's an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Awesome shot. Oh, goodness. I'm scared. Don't do that. Oh, wait. Are they on a glass platform?
Yeah. It's a very cool shot. Interesting perspective. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had any idea that he was standing on something. So the shoes are an important part of the storytelling. Okay, we should take a break from looking at pictures.
If you insist.
Let's go back to Siobhan and see if we have any questions or
Sean,
comments
is
for
the
us, Siobhan.
conversation
I'll
relevant?
pull up a portfolio.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, they're bringing the questions this week.
Whoa.
All
You just never know with these crazies.
right, I'm gonna start with a real tough one, guys.
Uh-oh.
Our friend Miss Anday said, in last week's show, Tony said no part of him can get a woman pregnant. Is he finally ready to come out as an android? Follow-up question. Does Tony dream of electric sheep?
I mean, I don't discriminate between organic life and manufactured life.
Right. And I'm not an Android. I run iOS.
Yeah. And
That is
he
a
doesn't
bold-faced
dream
lie.
because he doesn't need to sleep.
Also vasectomy.
Also, Tony, what is your shoe size?
10.5 US.
Wow.
That question is relevant to the topic today.
That's true. I'm hoping somebody's planning a surprise for me. Maybe I'll get some shoes.
You do need slippers.
That would be nice. Tony, what do you think of speed lights with built-in wireless receivers?
They're fantastic. The radio receivers are the way to go because everything's had like built-in wireless of some type, like optical or infrared. But yeah, the radio receivers are great. I wouldn't get Nikon has a new one, and it's still overpriced. But we've been using the Cactus ones, which are like cheap. They're like $70, but
Yeah.
they just work.
They
And-
just work.
As far as I know, they're reliable. It's hard to test, but you could just buy an extra one rather than spending $500 on a name brand flash.
What else?
Everyone wants to know what kind of mics you're using today.
These-
are made in Australia.
They're Rode
they're
broadcaster
Rode.
mics. They're not a sponsor.
They're a bunch of numbers.
I listened to a bunch of samples from different mics.
Broadcaster.
Yeah, and they seemed right for us. They're an older mic. They're like more than 10 years old,
Well,
but they seem to work well.
I like not having the lav on me.
Yeah, and they definitely sound better.
Yeah,
It's a little weird to have this big thing in front of our faces, but
I'm used to it.
you're already used to it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to Siobhan. Let's take a look at a couple of portfolios. These are Squarespace portfolios. Our sponsor today. They make awesome websites. They make your pictures look great. This portfolio is not in English, but I think we can probably wing it.
But it's Sasha Kuske.
Which of these categories?
We need
do you
one more
feel-
category.
Right. Or yeah, balance it out.
Lord help me. Or one
causing
Nonetheless.
seizures in the OCD among us. What do you feel like? Straßenfotografia? Street photography. Look at me.
You did it.
I speak that language.
That seems like German.
Dutch, maybe? Yeah, maybe it's German.
I think it's German.
Justin, nobody asked you.
Get out.
Can't you see we're talking?
But wait,
Obermeek.
what happened?
What?
Well, the user interface
Changed?
didn't immediately make sense to me. There's lots of customization, lots of different templates you can choose from, but there's no clue to let me know I need to click this to see the next one. So
I would say get rid of the watermark on each picture.
isn't that a Pinterest watermark? Yeah.
No,
it's-
the bottom middle. It says Sasha.
Oh, I didn't even see it because of the complexity of it. But yeah,
But we could pin it. You can just go, boom. Then you pin it. See, you learned. Okay.
thanks for the lesson, John. Let's look at the portraits. Oh, okay. So here we have the left and right buttons, and that definitely helps.
Mm-hmm. You like this one? We've got a Tony and Chelsea situation here.
What's that?
That's probably his girlfriend, and he's taking a lot of pictures of her like you do to me.
And that could be.
Okay, let's go more. Architecture and sculptures.
I have a feeling if we look at the couple's photography, we'll see a bunch of pictures of the photographer and his girlfriend. These are
I
fantastic
love this one
architectural
of the
photos.
this.
Yeah, and I like all of them, but I like the vines too.
Wow. These are great.
So my recommendation is going to be to get rid of the categories. I'm going to say pare this down. I'm guessing that's Sasha with his girlfriend here. Pare this down to 10 to 15 pictures
Yeah.
and make that your portfolio.
No, it's
Just pick your
Julie and
very best
Eric
stuff.
in Potsdam.
Oh, okay.
Now we have different
My
people,
bad.
see?
I was based on your theory of that being the photographer's girlfriend. It looked like the same gal, but
Everybody's blonde there.
we have a lot of different categories, and most people won't go through the trouble to browse through all the different ones. And so until you have so many pictures that you absolutely have to break it apart, or you're trying to appeal to different customers, I try to keep everything in one category. I still have just one category for my own portfolio. Let's see.
I love German.
Okay, so there's
There's
Sasha. Thanks for putting a picture of yourself up. That's my recommendation. Combine everything into one portfolio, weed that out a little bit, remove any pictures that are too similar. Let's see what Sasha had to say about Squarespace.
Did you know?
He just submitted this.
Did you know we've been to Potsdam?
No, I did not.
You forgot?
I did.
I
We've
figured.
been a lot of places. Sasha says about Squarespace. Zasha says, it's a great website builder, but quite complex. He's still learning. He used my code, by the way. And what is our code, Chels? What if somebody wanted to get a discount
Portfolio
on
for
their own
10%
Squarespace
off.
website?
You get 10% off, but also at the same time, you're telling Squarespace that we're great. And that helps us. Thank you, Sasha.
Thanks, Sasha. We'll take a look at another portfolio in a bit. Let's take a look at some more pictures. These are pictures that people have submitted live
What
at
if people have more
northup.photo/submit.
questions?
You want to go back to Siobhan? You have any other questions or comments for us, Siobhan?
Sure, I do.
Okay.
Sure. I like Sasha.
This guy says, I'm teaching my mum to use a DSLR. She likes to take photos of cut flowers for practice. How can she make these kinds of shots more interesting?
It's all about light. So here's an exercise for you to share with your mom. Have her look at still life, like Caravaggio, the classics, and look at the light. It's always streaming through a window. There's always something in the atmosphere, like some dust or something to make it interesting, rich fabrics, and have her get some ideas from that. Because what's nice about a still life is that you can control your subject while playing with light and composition. And that'll help her learn about composition and light and how texture reacts to light and I think that'll be great.
I can give a couple of hacks. They're cut flowers, so you might not be able to get like a bee or a fly on them. Those are good ways to add a focal point. But get a mister, like a proper mister, and you can mist it and it'll make little water droplets on it, and that helps tremendously. But yeah, the light. Simple backgrounds, up close, a macro lens or extension tubes will make a huge difference. Fill the frame with that flower. You can even crop in through the edges of the flower. People stand way too far back when they take flower pictures usually.
What else do you have for us, Siobhan?
Did Tony just say you wouldn't bother with ACR? If so, why?
What? Did you say that? I didn't hear you.
Oh, Adobe Camera Raw. Well, people can use it, but we always use Lightroom to do the same task. Adobe Camera
Oh
Raw
my
is
gosh, you'll never learn. You can't say anything definitive.
don't use that.
You can't say maybe don't use. You can't say I wouldn't use. People are going to freak out.
Right.
You just have to.
Pretty soon we'll see a YouTube video titled "Real Photographers Use ACR."
This is what we're dealing with. You're going to say something, someone's going to comment on it. Nobody's going to watch the video. They're just going to believe that a commenter interpreted it properly. And then it's going to be Tony Northrup says never use ACR because he's not a real photographer.
Yeah, raw files suck. Tony thinks Tony
poor
uses
guy.
shoots JPEG apparently.
He asked a simple question and he just gets all of our
Sorry.
background. But this is how we live.
Adobe Camera Raw has an advantage in that it's free software, so you don't have to own Lightroom or Photoshop.
Sorry.
That
So-
sounded awesome.
So if you don't have Lightroom or Photoshop and you want to do that sort of raw conversion, you can use that. It does useful things, like it'll do panoramas and HDR without having the software. If I usually use Picasa for free raw rendering, otherwise I do it in Lightroom. But yeah, if you're opening something directly in Photoshop, it's fine. It has its purpose.
There you go. That was basically a non-answer, which is what we have to give for any question like that. How do you feel about polarizing filters? Oh, they're a filter. They polarize things. I can't answer any. I'm not at liberty to say anymore.
Fortunately, nobody's invested in Adobe Camera Raw. It is free.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I won't offend anybody too much. When people lay their money down, they get really personally attached
There will be
to
a
things.
controversial video up. Tony Northrup is an idiot. He's sponsored by them now.
Why not Adobe Camera Raw?
You could. I'm in such a piss mood today. By the way, I am just not up for dealing with any crap. Come at me.
You want to look at some shoe pictures?
Not now.
Here's a juxtaposition of
What? Invisible Dad? A movie circa 1980 something? Do you remember that?
invisible, very short dad.
You guys, how am I going to slurp my drink with a stupid mic?
On the left, we have fancy, and on the right, we have sort of casual. I like it. It was a great concept. I think he developed this specifically for our show. I appreciate that.
That reminds me of
Turned
when
out
you see a
beautiful.
young couple on a date and the girl's all dressed up and the guy's just like, I don't know,
Yeah, we have a fairly fancy casino nearby, Mohegan Sun. and
fairly fancy.
That's the way most under 25 dates look.
She's like all dressed up. She just used a YouTube tutorial to do her makeup. She's got like a tight polyester dress on and 20-inch heels.
She's been to Forever 21 and spent
Yeah.
$32 on a dress.
He's got sneakers on, khakis, they're plated, they're his dad's. And like a t-shirt that says something offensive. I don't even know how to respond to these shoes.
I think it's just beautiful. I love the simple composition and the white background.
Those
the
are
nice
well-made
soft
shoes.
lighting. I gave this one a pick right away. I just really like it.
Tony, you just know what you like when you see it.
I love they curl up. You really don't
That's
see
what
that
I'm
anymore. That's the way that my sleeping shoes are like that. I have the long hat and then the shoes that curl up at the end. It's the way we sleep.
Wow, you're really an old-fashioned gentleman.
Speaking of,
Dang, they even got the circle ice maker.
That's awesome.
nice still life.
Justin's impressed. Let's.
Yeah, you want to brighten that up just a little bit. You can still have that sort of mood, but I love the worn wood texture. The inclusion of the watch is great. You know a gentleman when he's got those like wood things that go inside your shoes.
Oh yeah.
I will say I used those up until I had some moment of panic when I was running late for an important meeting, and I just couldn't get it out. It was like stuck in there. You never
You
felt
used the
frustration
equipment.
until your stupid wood thing
Just keep
won't leave your shoe. I
I worry about whoever used to be in these shoes
I'm
before the happening.
there's no footsteps in the snow around this,
I don't understand it.
which means somebody had to like stand off frame and kind of toss them in there. Yeah, I'm baffled by it. Maybe if there were some footsteps leading up to them, we'd think that the shoes landed there because what is it when they come and they take everybody who's worthy?
The apocalypse?
Oh, maybe for you.
The rapture.
The rapture, yeah.
They got raptured.
I'd be one of the ones raptured.
I'd stay
You'd be
here.
left behind. You wouldn't stay. It wouldn't be like your choice. It'd be because you're a sinner.
It's a choice. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get an email.
These
Boots full of sad roses.
yeah, these roses didn't want to get their feet wet in the snowstorm, so they put on this nice
That's
rubber
not
shoe.
true. This person made this picture so I would make a country song. Boots full of sad roses.
It's been quite a week for us, so if this is an unusual
We're
broadcast,
exhausted.
Yeah.
We don't even care.
I like it a
Cool.
lot. I warmed it. I brightened it up a little bit, but
Me too.
overall, really cute concept. I appreciate you making that. I know that took some
Feel
time.
sad for
Creative
those
idea.
roses. That's what
Definitely never seen anything like that before.
Whoa, someone's got a collection.
Yeah, great use of shallow depth of field
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I just overall like the picture. I would wish that wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going on. It's just kind of jutting into the frame. It doesn't make sense.
What if you
Yeah, that would definitely be better.
there?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely better. Nice done.
This
An old
picture
warm
is.
pair of shoes.
I like this picture. And I like the colors and everything and the light. The one thing is, like, were they really just there, or did you put them up on that? Because they remind me of like an old grandpa pair of shoes on his rocking chair. Those shoes are about to whittle a duck for the grandchild. You know,
Yeah.
those shoes are about to smoke a corncob pipe.
I like that shot a lot. I'm giving that one a pick.
I like it too. I'm not even gonna edit it. Look at they don't even need me to raise the exposure. Or
No,
anything.
they nailed
I
it.
feel so lost. I guess that's my only problem with it.
We did a little bit of this
I wear
this
fleece
past
pants
week.
in the snow too.
You're going, oh, I thought you were going to go black and white.
Raptured. Sorry. I'm having a weird day. I like it.
You want to jump over and look at some chit chat?
Sure.
Okay.
Chit chat. This is the part of the show where we don't even know anymore, to be honest.
Chelsea, what are you drinking?
Water.
What were you drinking?
Just juice. Mostly juice.
Mostly juice with a bit of tequila.
Whatever. You guys so judgmental.
Chit chat is the part of the show where we read your comments from the past week.
Hey, Tony/Chelsea. Having a hard time finding this on the iTunes search. Is it published yet?
This is our podcast that we publish. It's available as a video podcast
Picture this.
on YouTube, or you can go to iTunes or whatever. But this is our first podcast, so it took a little while for iTunes to kind of figure it out. But now you can go to sdp.io/podcast, and there you'll see a page with links to various podcasts.
All you gotta do is go to our podcast, download it. You don't even have to listen to it. Share it with your friends. Tell them to download it, and then we'll be the best.
You know what we could use is if you have iTunes, give it a rating.
Just the podcast app on your phone. You can rate it right there.
Yeah,
5 stars.
yeah. Hopefully you like it. If you don't like it, don't rate it.
If you hate it, don't rate it. If you love it, 5 stars. Tony, this looks like the Earth got a biopsy. Care to explain?
This is just the Earth, according to a lot of people.
B.O.B.?
B.O.B. This has been in the news lately, and it's terribly relevant to photographers because just about everything here relates to photography.
Really?
There's a portion of humanity who believes the Earth is flat, which is what we believed for thousands of years, and then we decided the Earth was spherical. But now there's some people who are going back to this, thinking that the idea that it's spherical is a lie, propagated by a massive amount of fake photography and video,
Okay.
as well as terrestrial evidence. So B.O.B. is a musical artist.
He's a musical artist. He said time-lapse photos of stars form perfect circles. How is this possible? What?
The stars are relatively fixed from our perspective, and the Earth is rotating. And I want to actually do an experiment where I stick a GoPro on a globe and make some stars on the ceiling so you can see that this is what happens when the Earth rotates. But this is why we have so much experience with flat earthers, is I have a video out about making star trails videos, or taking pictures of star trails. And they do form circles when you take a picture of the North Star. Or if you, in the southern hemisphere, and you take a picture facing south.
Because we get emails from people telling us that we need to stop propagating lies and tell people the truth that the Earth is flat.
Right. But you can demonstrate this experimentally, and you should try this at home. This is what would happen if the Earth were rotating and you were looking at stars that were mostly fixed.
Okay,
this is
what
another
does B.O.B. have to say about the GoPro?
This is also him citing this as evidence that the Earth is flat rather than spherical, because you can see in the top picture that the picture taken with the GoPro is curved at the top.
Yeah.
But once you turn on the GoPro lens corrector, it's straight.
Oh my gosh, I've been living a lie.
The
GoPro conspiracy.
I don't even understand this one. How is that evidence that the Earth is flat?
Understanding's only going to hurt you. Let's keep going.
It's a fisheye lens. Everybody, I think, watching us knows it's a distortion of the lens.
Tell B.O.B.
I probably wouldn't be the first. This is another one they see frequently. God rays. You can see that they radiate out from some central point. And for flat earthers, the theory is that these lines are coming directly from the sun. Therefore, you can triangulate the rays and know that the sun is right there, because they also believe that the sun is not far away from the Earth, but actually very, very close to the Earth. But here's the thing, and as photographers, we all know this. Light bounces off things. Anything that you can see is reflecting light back at you. Anything that you see.
You know what, Tony? I'm really worried that you're working for the man.
So when you put a diffuser on your softbox,
like a cloud,
that becomes the light source. If you were to point a laser pointer at a cotton ball, what you would see is the cotton ball would light up. And if you were to do this in like a room with some smoke or fog, you would see the laser would go straight to the cotton ball, and then from the cotton ball, rays would radiate out everywhere.
So in this example, the laser's the sun, the cotton ball's the clouds, the light is the light.
Yeah. So the reason you see the light rays radiating what seems to be very close to the clouds is the cloud is becoming the light source. But the cloud has always been the light source. If you can see a cloud, it's because it's redirecting the light towards your eye.
So what you're saying is I can't trust clouds? There's a conspiracy.
They're in on it.
The clouds are in on it.
Yeah.
Who can you trust?
No, this is not proof that the sun is nearby.
Need to stop listening to the man when you can't even trust the clouds.
And if there were the cases, the sun would be at the same level as the clouds, and that would be very, very close. A little too close for comfort. The sun's far. It's like really far. Okay, a couple more comments. I took a lot of shit about a year ago.
I know.
For releasing a video on crop factor.
Honey, I'm sorry.
And all I was saying was that if you want to understand the performance of a lens attached to a camera with a smaller sensor, traditionally everybody's multiplied the crop factor by the focal length to understand the focal length. I wanted to say you should also multiply it by the f-stop number so you could understand how the performance compares to full frame lenses. And this was not the dogma. This is not what people had been doing. And in fact, a lot of companies had been abusing that sort of miscalculation as they were marketing their gear and convincing people to pay more for stuff that wasn't necessarily worth it. And people thought I was crazy, but it's been about a year. And apparently that's about the time for ideas to kind of settle in. So in that period of time, I've seen the tide turn. Now when somebody...
Not for everyone, but yeah, some people.
Now when somebody releases a new lens and they multiply the crop factor by the focal length but not the aperture, now I see in the comments people saying, well, this doesn't make sense. You can't expect that sort of performance. You have to also multiply the crop factor by the aperture. And our friends over at Filmmaker IQ released a video that said, well, it was largely based on my crop factor video.
Yeah.
He had the benefit of seeing how people responded to my video, that they were very technical. People were upset about it. So he approached it from a very technical perspective, which is what I would have done if I had to do over again.
Mm-hmm.
I approached it from a very consumer-oriented perspective. And I would encourage everybody to check out Filmmaker IQ. This particular person, Perry Bennett Photo, did not seem to dig into it properly. And so they thought this video was contradicting what I had said because they only read the headline. Because that's what always happens.
Everybody reads the headline or the comments and then thinks they know what they're talking about.
But I talked to the guy who made the video, and he said that it was based on mine. And he even says, thanks for having the courage to stand up against an often ornery photography crowd on the subject.
Oh my gosh, do you know how many videos we've had to endure? We get so many messages where people say, so-and-so made a video calling you an idiot. So-and-so did this. And then we go and watch and they've got their tinfoil hat on and they think they're smarter than Einstein and they're just very obviously disturbed people just being trolls. And that's what we have to answer to.
Yeah. Anyway, this particular fellow that the guy thought I would be upset about, he says, your video changed how I perceived sensor size in relation to depth of field. That was my intention, and I'm glad that that worked, and I'm glad that other people are disseminating the same information and that it started to have some mind share, because it is the right way to do things. It stood the test of time. It's been validated by dozens, if not hundreds of other people.
But this is the stupid thing, is that because I've been on the forums and people will say, Tony Northrup's an idiot because of his crop factor videos, and people will just read that comment and say, oh, Tony Northrup doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy must be right and Tony Northrup is wrong. That's exactly what happened in the Twitter comment.
Yeah.
Because they read headlines, they don't watch the original video. If they do, they watch pieces of it and then draw their own conclusions. And then you have people spreading rumors or misinformation that you said one thing and not the other. Same thing happened with the polarizing filter comments. I saw people from our own channel. Yes, I stalk you. I go and read their comments on other channels where they say, well, I agree with Tony with this, but not with this. And you're wrong. You're not even listening to what we're saying. What I'm saying is that you have to actually watch a full video and you have to watch it yourself. You can't trust some stranger with a crappy comment to know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and do your own testing too. Same thing with the flat earthers. Like, just there are ways to test it. Don't trust a YouTube video one way or another. Do your own testing.
Don't even trust ours. Just do your own testing.
I've tested that the earth is round.
And it's frustrating when we put weeks and weeks into something and then someone writes a comment just saying you're wrong. It's like, okay, I have done my part of doing weeks worth of research and filming and putting tons of my own money into this for no other reason than to just teach people. Like, come at me with something more.
Yeah.
Come at me with something more than just an accusation.
Oh,
please.
But also the condescending laugh often. Wah ha 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 ha. Idiot. Wrong.
Idiot.
That's what we say.
Your face, like, and then
evidence.
just getting personal. We smile too much. Ugh. People are such assholes.
That was meant to be
I
a
told
fun
you
comment.
today, Justin, I was like, I'm too pissed off today to do the live show.
Anyway,
Fucking sick of people.
Check out Filmmaker IQ. He had a great video on crop factor.
This should be in my wrecked segment that we never got to share.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Wrecked
get me
by
all
Chelsea.
pissed off, put a
That'll
margarita in
happen
me.
soon.
Come on, was expecting Tony and Toby to do a Pulp Fiction Big Kahuna burger scene at the end where Tony plays Jules and Toby plays Brett. I've seen Pulp Fiction. I don't remember the reference, actually.
Oh, that's where he's got his bad MFer wallet. They break in. He sits him down and has a little talk with him about the robbery he's trying to We clearly
We're
gotta
gonna
watch
watch
Pulp
it again
Fiction
after
again.
He's like, that is a tasty burger.
Justin, that was good. Good video. Your hair looks fake. Haha.
I
What?
love Justin impressions.
What, Will? Come on. Top Dog. This guy's gonna put in-person photo classes out of business. He looks way too young to have that white hair. Yeah, that's pretty true. Sean, your advice on getting this gray hair?
I just like the advice part. Like maybe we should make an instructional video. How to have
get
gray hair.
Ooh. Jeans. We like get comments at our spam folder, and every once in a while I go in there.
Uh-huh.
And today they just really made me laugh. Gabriel Pop says, overall nice boobs to me.
Oh,
Like
do you? I wasn't
overall.
sure.
Like
Overall.
not even completely.
You sized them up. There was some positives and some negatives. You know, you almost lost me there.
That's like usually because boobs is filtered out because I just hate when I'm like trying to teach Lightroom and people just say boobs. I'm like, yes, I'm
Yeah.
anatomically a woman. Leave me alone. But this one, like overall, that was hilarious.
Overall, really finished this off.
Chris
Thanks,
Winter.
Gabriel.
I always thought Tony was gay. He looks gay, but I guess he's not.
That was on the Lightroom video that I put out today. I just want to know. I understand. I look.
Gay.
You think gay people look a certain way, and I look like that. But what about the Lightroom video convince you of my
He's like,
heterosexuality?
oh, Lightroom. He's straight as hell. I don't even understand.
Damn! Look at that straight
Whoa,
panorama.
Whoa. He's straight in the panorama. He's straight. I feel like for men, gayness, how gay you seem depends on where you are. So like if you're like from a man from New York City and you're stylish and you go to like some backcountry small town, you're automatically gay. They're like, whoa, you have like shoes and tight jeans?
Hmm.
That must mean you have a sexual preference other than heterosexual.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me what people think is.
Oh, I ran into that because I moved from like Cambridge, Massachusetts, right next to Boston, like very metropolitan area, and then I moved into the middle of nowhere, Phillipston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, they
just
thought
in
you
the
were gay because
wilderness.
you drove a European car. They're
Yeah, a
like,
Volvo. They're like, whoa,
whoa.
straight guys don't do that.
Don't even. This threatens me for reasons I don't understand. Squarespace. They pay us to talk about what makes Tony look gay.
Let's take a look at another portfolio. Let's take a look at Reed Productions. This is like a fantastic street shot. I love that he's just got.
Tony, do you remember Slutty the Clown? All right, just
Is it too early to reminisce?
It's too early, but
about
I'm doing
earlier
it.
in the show?
I'm doing it.
This is very unusual that he has like his tweets overlaying the. Let's just enter the site. That was weird.
Let's just go for it. Coffee by the Coca-Cola? Oh,
So
okay.
he's has an entry page, which is kind of an unusual format, and then he's got a blog here, and this probably isn't what I would recommend because it feels very weird to just like jump into whatever is most current. I think when people are looking you up, they probably want to immediately see your best work, and
Oh,
then,
he has a podcast.
oh, we know a little bit about podcasting. We probably shouldn't listen to it right now.
No, but I mean, we're interested. Wow, you're young and you do it. I'm proud of you. Photography. Okay. So you have this page, you have a lot of thumbnails and a quote. I'm
I
over.
would want to know what his
What are
goal
these
was.
blank spaces?
Yeah, there were a couple of weird blank spaces there. Maybe the images just didn't load properly.
That's
You have some
possible.
cool light painting pictures in there.
This
A
picture
couple of
is
duplicate
repeated.
pictures. You want to go through and
Yeah.
weed that out. But also think about what your goal for the site is. If your goal is
What's your
to
goal?
get photography clients and you want to lead with your portfolio, if it's to sell your podcast, then you should lead with that. Or you might just want to make an entry page that makes it very clear what it is that you do, because you're kind of all over the place right now. We saw a blog. There's this kind of menu which has podcast, photography, videos, but I don't even know what the common thread is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
He has
see
some interesting pictures. I think that he just needs to go through and, as we always say, pare them down. Just choose fewer photos. And also, do you see when I expand one picture, it's large, and another, it's small? Maybe just try to size them all the same. when you upload them so that they show up the same size.
Yeah,
I
bigger's
make
always
mistakes
better.
like that all the time. I'm really sloppy about stuff like that.
But I think what you have to do is to look at your site as if you don't know yourself. Come into it with fresh eyes, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what we do. That's a very cool self-portrait. That works out
that's
great.
cool. Alexander.
And coming into it without knowing what's going on, it ends up being kind of a confusing experience. I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish exactly, if it's for business or pleasure,
Broke it.
whether your priority is being a photographer or a videographer or a podcaster, or what the common thread is between them. That's our feedback. I hope you take it constructively, go back and restructure the site a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'd love to look at it again in the future. Let's see what Reed has to say about the site. He says, about Squarespace, I love it. It's simple to use and it looks good. We find Squarespace makes it really easy to set up a portfolio. If you feel like setting up your own Squarespace portfolio, where should they go, Chels?
Squarespace.com/Tony. You get 14 days for free. Even if you have no intention of buying a portfolio, just set one up for free. And this is why. You get to choose your favorite pictures. You get to see what you want to take more pictures of. And it's a great exercise for figuring out where you are as a photographer. You might find that you have 5 of your favorite pictures are from the same photo shoot. That means you need to take more pictures. So you're going to learn a lot about your photography by just setting up any old portfolio. This one's free for 14 days. It's a good exercise. If you decide that you like it, you probably will. You can use the coupon code portfolio and get 10% off. That gets you 10% off, and it tells Squarespace that we're really good at this.
Let's toss it back to Siobhan and see what people have to say. Siobhan, anything interesting going on?
Siobhan, what is
Guys.
even happening?
The comments are on point tonight.
Oh, good.
Everyone's bonkers tonight.
They are loving Chelsea's energy.
I'm so angry. Why do they like it?
I don't know. Because angry Chelsea is hilarious. And they like to be intimidated a little bit. I can tell
Maybe.
you that from personal experience.
Little S&M thing going on.
We're into that. We'll beat you up.
Yeah, I've got questions. Let me see here. I do just want to tell you that this comment was blocked because of the words that we block. But Kyle Wolf said that my friend from Texas thought Tony was Chelsea's gay father.
Well, then I guess it's time to come out and tell everyone the truth.
It made me laugh so hard.
Tony, how do you feel about that?
Representing Texas. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that he's from someplace other than Austin.
But he is a gay gentleman as well.
Oh, maybe he is from Austin.
I mean, if he has a good gaydar, I might be in trouble. And if he has a good incestar, I'm in a lot of trouble. Is that a thing?
Okay, I'm sorry. I do have real questions for you. Tony, which is your favorite lens and why? And whose work has influenced you the most? That's a 3-part question.
Oh my gosh, someone's getting greedy.
My favorite, probably the Canon 70-200 f2.8. It's awesome. I guess the why is it's awesome. It's versatile. You can get crazy background blur. It's incredibly flattering for portraits. It can do sports and even a little bit of wildlife, especially with the teleconverter. And it's a unique lens. I get a lot of influence from David LaChapelle. I just really like his work. His storytelling is fantastic. Visually, it's really, really compelling. You just can't look away. You might not always like it, but it's bright. It's carefully planned. His pictures are perfect. Anything else?
Yep. What do you look at when you are buying a used camera? Shutter actuations?
No, not that.
I do not care at all about shutter actuations because I've never had a failed shutter, and I know that's the number one thing people ask.
Someone
every time I
asked
list a
you-
camera,
Have you never had a failed? Oh, I can't remember. Sorry, keep going.
but I haven't, and especially shooting wildlife, like you'll take 1,000 pictures in a day. We put a lot of shutter actuations on cameras. It's just, but maybe you'll have a shutter fail. I'm sure it happens, but no, I look at the price, and That's about the extent of it.
That's it.
If it's functioning, it's the price. Yeah, I don't care. I take whatever's cheapest.
Money.
Yeah.
That's what he's about.
You've never had to return something as long as I can remember out of like 25 cameras, just a million cameras, right?
Yeah, we buy so many cameras, like 20 a year or something like that. And one time I ordered a GoPro
Justin.
Hero 4 Black, and they sent me a GoPro Hero 4 Silver,
Oh my
but they
God.
thought it was a black
Outrage.
because all GoPros are black, and they just
Oh.
didn't know.
I think it's a confusing name in their defense.
And I was like, yeah, that I understand the problem. But they just took it back. I didn't lose any money on it. But no, I've never had a failed. Every camera is operated perfectly. Anything else, Siobhan?
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to follow along with the comments while you're talking, and then I'm not listening anymore, and
I
it's a
get
mess.
it. They're more interesting than us. They're probably talking about something stupid. I can't keep up with it.
Yep. Any chance Tony can talk about, yes, the best lenses for indoor restaurant events? I have a wine pairing shoot coming up, and I'm looking for some tips and tricks.
I'd probably grab you want a zoom lens, maybe like a 16 to 35 f2.8 or 16 to 35 f4. The wider end on a full frame body, but on the wider end, you end up shooting a lot of people kind of up close. It's probably going to be crowded shoulder to shoulder. So
It's going to be dark.
yeah, so the 16 to 35 f2.8 would probably be more useful there. But yeah, you'll have to crank up the ISO a little bit.
Mm.
You want to take a look at some more pictures? Maybe Siobhan will.
I want to hear another question from Siobhan. These people are on fire tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a couple. Are third-party camera batteries worth the risk?
No,
No, they don't last. They work fine at first,
they're
and
a
then
lie.
they just let you down. And when you run out of batteries in the middle of a shoot, there's just no coming back from that. It's terrible. Not worth it.
What else? Oh, man. Life.
Gear questions that I don't care about.
Just skip them.
This is like a very specific question, but
Oh.
maybe you've had some experience with it.
Horrible.
If my portfolio has a lot of portrait-oriented photos, which Squarespace theme do you think would work best to display them?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the names of
I
all
don't
the
know the
Squarespace
names, yeah.
portfolios, but they have lots of themes that you can use to find the right one. Sorry, you'll just have to experiment.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I have another Squarespace question. Oh, how should a photo be saved from Lightroom or Photoshop for your Squarespace profile or portfolio? Two of my pics look very desaturated when I saw
Yeah.
them on my website on a phone.
You want to change the color space to CMKY and save for web. Or maybe even just saving for web would fix that problem. But either way, save for web. If that doesn't, if
It only
saving-
comes up in Photoshop, right? Because I think the defaults for Lightroom are okay, but the defaults for Photoshop are not.
I can't say that's true. I'm trying to remember. This is a problem I have on my Squarespace right now. I've been meaning to fix it. And it's only desaturated from my iPhone. So it looks fine from my desktop and looks weird for my phone. And that's because I didn't save them for web and maybe even saved them in the wrong color space. But try changing your color space and use the save for web option when you save your picture. That should fix it.
So as you export from Lightroom, this is your color space option.
Yeah.
You'll export it as a JPEG. And I feel like,
That's from Photoshop that I'm talking about.
yeah, I feel like from Lightroom, the sRGB, which is the default, usually gets the job done properly for me. But
I've
experiment
had
with
problems
this.
with it.
With sRGB.
I feel like I'm pretty sure. I mean, I save from all different places, so that's why I'm not certain. But I
Mhm.
have had the problem multiple times. So
Yeah, sorry I don't have a definitive answer.
yeah,
for
you're
you.
just gonna have to fool around with that color space. What else?
I have one more question that I think is actually interesting. From Louis Kotler. What do you listen to while you're editing?
Sometimes I listen to podcasts, and sometimes I listen to music. And I'm listening to Azalea Banks right now, and Chance the Rapper, and just a bunch of random stuff as well. How about you, Tony?
Yeah, I I've been into Azalea Banks lately, and a lot of kind of electronica music that I don't even necessarily know, but just I like stuff without too many lyrics, like more just electronica.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it gets distracting for me.
I do like to listen to podcasts though.
Yeah, I find that too distracting.
Really?
I can't listen to that sort of thing. What about you, Justin? What do you listen to? You do a ton of video editing, but I know you find a way to crank some music in the background.
Yeah, sorry, my mic just came loose. When editing video, I'll have classical music or instrumental jazz on, but I'm usually having to focus to on the audio too much
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, editing pictures is the only thing I can listen to music while I'm doing. I can't just do my other work and listen to podcasts or music. It's too distracting.
Yeah, but Clipping is an awesome hip hop group, and Breakmaster Cylinder, he's awesome. And Siobhan has awesome music, so you should ask her.
What about you, Siobhan? What do you listen to?
I wish I could say that I listen to music at all anymore, but I pretty much exclusively listen to comedy podcasts when I'm working.
Wow.
I couldn't hear that. What'd you say?
She listens to a comedy podcast, and actually my radio just shut off too. But well, what are your favorite comedy podcasts, Siobhan?
Comedy Bang Bang.
Comedy Bang Bang, Never Not Funny, Pistol Shrimps Radio is probably my newest fave. Spontaneation. I've got a lot. Guys, ask me about podcasts.
Do you ever actually work or do you just listen to podcasts?
Answering emails and registering people is mostly mindless. So I'm really good at multitasking.
That's good. I wish I had that.
The correct answer was the Picture This Photography Podcast, now available on iTunes
Okay,
for free.
so Justin and Siobhan, you're fired. That's the bad
I've listened
news.
to it twice this week, guys.
You
Okay.
did?
It's that good. You can listen multiple times. There'll be another one out soon.
I listened to the first 10 minutes and I wasn't even bored. And that's how I knew that we had something truly
Wow,
special.
if you get past that 10-minute mark with Chelsea, that's phenomenal.
That's actually how we edited our photography book. You gave it to me and
Yeah.
I was like, bored. I've never been so bored. You just started adding pictures.
Let's take a look at these last few pictures. I weeded it down. This is
Kyle
Kyle Wolf's
Wolf again.
picture.
This kid's a delinquent. Stop cruising and boozing, Kyle Wolf.
Chelsea's delirious today. I'm just going to raise the shadows a little bit
It's
since
such
we
a
have so many.
stressful day. Whenever I have a stressful day, I just lose my mind.
Maya Rosebird. A beautiful shot.
Rose.
I like that a lot. Just a nice, clean, simple shot. Shows the boots perfectly, and then you have a
Yeah.
little context there. It makes me feel like she
Add it-
gardens in them. Nice
Yeah,
done.
yeah. It keeps it from seeming too commercial. Did you skip one?
Nice black background. It looks like it's shot maybe with glass over a piece of black paper, and that gives you that kind of reflection that became
Yeah.
famous in the iPhone era. There's a little more negative space on the top than on the bottom, so I might just pull it down a little bit. But
It's nice.
yeah, great shot, perfect, great light on it. Just you show that texture of it.
Sassy.
Yeah, here we have it's a very kind of warm shot, but that might actually be okay. Because you kind of get the feeling that it's taken under incandescent
Yeah.
lights. But if we change the white balance, it kind of changes it pretty dramatically. But really nice shot. Some Batman shoes.
Just Batman shoes.
This looks like a straight out mirror, which is a very thick reflection. If you want just a little touch of reflection, just use glass instead of a mirror.
Good eye. Oh my gosh, that scared me.
I like this shot a lot as I was flipping through. This one really caught my eye. Very eye catching,
Pick.
very creative. Yeah,
You gave a pick too?
I gave it a pick. I'm giving it a 5 stars.
I like the processing and
I think it might be my favorite picture
oh,
of the
it
day.
also makes me uncomfortable.
This is the kind of thing I was hoping to see, is just genuinely creative pictures taken
Let's
with
go
shoes.
back. That is so cool.
Yeah, great idea. Fantastic.
You're crazy.
Scream.
This person's reading our book. How can we not give this a pick and 5 stars?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it was a Christmas
Hey,
present.
you okay?
Hope you enjoy it.
Good shoes too.
Yeah, great shot. I like the splash of color. We got some black socks. He's made a fatal error.
Yeah, how's he gonna get his pants on?
Right.
Yeah, but you know what?
I learned this a couple of years ago. Pants, then shoes.
Yeah, but-
socks you can do before or after the pants. Just a little like me to you kind
I
of
like a
advice.
man in business shoes with no pants.
Didn't know that. Just learned that now. It's weird that it's been generalized so
wink,
much. Like you've
wink, wink.
have some experience with that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, a poop story?
This is
Smeared-
definite storytelling.
It's titled "Smeared Shat on Shoe." Did he really step in the poop for the picture, or was this a genuine? Do you think this is a candid? Let me see. Let me check out his face. Oh, let me check out the poop. Oh, it's not really on his shoe.
Fraud.
Fraud. You duty fraud.
Get out of here.
I love the light. I love it. And the texture. It's good. Pick.
You know what? I see
Pick.
the title says Armed Forces. I wish I could see a little more of the camo because that
Oh, I thought
part
they
of
were
the
going
story-
to play in the snow.
that story didn't immediately convey to me. If we saw a little more of the camo, I would have seen Armed Forces.
Oh,
But
because this is a wall. For some reason, I thought that was snow through a glass door.
yeah, it's just a little bit of
Did
like
you
a
think that too,
storytelling
Justin?
tip.
No, but I immediately see it right after you said that.
I thought that's why the light was so great. Okay.
Something to think about. Great shot though.
Cowboy. Or girl.
I
I like it.
yeah, I wish we had a
Me.
little higher f-stop there, a little less background.
This
blur.
is awesome.
Yeah, this was a really creative thing
Like
to
a
do.
bouquet
5 stars.
of shoe.
Really interesting. I love the crop right down the center line of the body.
It's very cool.
Awesome tats.
What'd you say?
Awesome tats.
I'm jealous. This is a great shot. I love that the bride is in the background. The colors are so soft and warm and just bridally all around. I love it. I'm going to give it 5 stars and a pick.
Yeah, perfect example of high key.
Look at these shoes.
Yeah, another great example of a reflection there.
What's happening here?
That is
So you focused on
little
the
unusual.
inside of the shoe. I'd focus on the outside. These shoes are leather. That's something I like. These are Aldo shoes.
yeah, there's
Pretty
no
good.
reason not to use a higher f-stop here. There's no background to blur.
Yeah.
It's better
As
to
far as
get
we know.
everything in focus than any sort of
Well, this shoe
blur.
is in focus here.
Yeah, I'm just saying they could have shot it at f16 and it wouldn't
Still
have been
good.
a problem.
We still like it.
Yeah, great shot.
Uh-oh.
You're okay with the composition? No cropping?
Oh, well, now that you mention it.
That works
That got
good.
rid of the watermark, too. I think we're done.
Great. You want to, are you going to beatbox like Siri?
No. Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Siobhan, any final words before we head out?
Remember?
Any noteworthy comments?
No, I will not share most of the comments. But someone asked Chelsea, I know she was a piano player. Did she ever record anything?
Oh,
Yeah, I record stuff all the time. I wrote a song a few weeks ago. I record my own versions of songs when Tony goes to the grocery store.
She doesn't like to perform around people, which is why if your next question is where can we see this, the answer is you can't.
Nowhere. Actually, I do
That
have-
one video.
I have a video on YouTube somewhere. I don't even remember my old YouTube account.
No, it was for like a 50mm lens review or something. Remember she played the thing and she was
Oh,
all nervous?
Right. The Zhongyi 50mm f095. If you look that up, Chelsea does perform, but you're playing the guitar.
I played Riders on the Storm on the piano.
No, there's a definite piano one.
Oh,
We
the
do
Sigma
have-
24 to 105.
That's
Ford
it.
review.
That's it.
But I
Yeah.
also have a cover song on YouTube somewhere, but I don't know. I don't remember where.
All right. Now people are really going to be digging deep into YouTube trying to
Follow
find it.
Chelsea on what's it called? The live streaming video thing.
Periscope.
Follow
yeah.
Chelsea on Periscope and maybe she'll sing about my husband's butt for you.
That happens occasionally.
That's true.
That's the thing that happens.
If Siobhan and Eric are over, I like to sing about her husband's butt. As friends do. Anything
Traditional.
else? That's it. We're going to end it on that note. Did we adequately plug Squarespace?
I think people are aware of Squarespace.
Squarespace.
Our sponsor, they make awesome websites. Squarespace.com/Tony, coupon code portfolio. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Siobhan, out in Philly, for dealing with everybody in the chat. Thank you, Justin, for switching cameras and taking care of our Twitter.
Of course.
We'll see you guys next week, Thursdays at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks. Bye. Here's Tigar.
That is all.